Well, good morning, everybody. Here is your correspondent reporting from the mountains of Morocco. So it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. I'll be on the road for exactly an hour, and I'm heading up to Marrakesh, but I'm not going to go into Marrakesh as I said in my last video. I'm going to just skip and go straight over the coast to Azouria, I think it's pronounced. And I saw some nice places on booking.com. I might crash there for a couple of days. I might actually go for a swim. The temperature there are supposed to be around mid-20s, which should be nice. Talking about temperatures, it was 14.5 degrees this morning leaving, which is really pleasant. It sort of makes you laugh. When we're at home, we're moaning about how cold it is, and over here we're moaning about how hot it is. I always remember my old friend Daji Bakaya coming to Ireland once to tell me what a wonderful climate we had. Of course, he was probably leaving a 40 degrees centigrade in Delhi. But anyway, the interesting thing about the ride today is, I'm going to give you a shot and show you the hills and the roads here in a moment. The thing about the ride is an awful lot of traffic coming against me, coming down from Marrakesh. I mean, really enormous amount of traffic. This weekend is, Monday is the Fête des Moutons. And so it is the festival of the sheep or the goats, whatever it is, when they all get together in families and they kill a goat or kill a sheep and they eat it. And so it's a big festival, and all these people that I see on the road are obviously heading home first. And the reason I know that, as opposed to normal, is that when I see them, they're, for example, you see the cars or the vans or the buses and the chockers with people, and they're completely loaded up. You see the one there passing by me there, completely loaded up with belongings. And so they're heading home and they're bringing all this stuff with them. And even the motorcyclists, so the motorbikes here, the most of the guys ride would be anything from, I'd say, 50cc up to 125cc. I mean, small bikes. You rarely see anything like a 250. And yet you see them in little groups of them, all riding down together. And I know they're not riding locally, because when they ride locally, they don't wear the helmets and they got nothing on except their usual little garb. But now they're not in their usual garb. They're all wrapped up. They've got helmets on, and they're in groups. And you can see the little bags on the back. So they're actually traveling home on these little bikes, probably quite a distance. So a big festival. So I'm probably going to encamp myself in Azouria for a couple of days, and maybe partake of the Festival du Mouton. I'm going to show you now just a quick shot of the mountains, if I can get this thing to reverse. So here's where I am. I'm off up in the hills, and it's really, really very, very, very beautiful. It really is. I'm up in the Atlas Mountains. But I want to show you something else. Do you notice anything? They're rebuilding the whole road. Literally. Now you can see what they're carving out. It's not hard rock, although there are some areas where they're carving hard rock. A lot of it is relatively soft. But they're literally just cutting through the hills, cutting through the mountains, and building this most beautiful road with this beautiful surface. As I said before, I've never seen so much road building in my life. It's really quite incredible. I'm going to continue on now. I'm an hour down. I've got about 4 hours to go. And I'm going to take my time and enjoy the ride and enjoy the spectacular scenery and the beautiful roads. Spectacular. Hey guys, so here I am 2 hours into the ride, and what a ride, just spectacular. This road is incredible, but it's interesting. As you go along, you can see the old road before they sort of cut through the mountains and all this, and tiny little road, 2 lanes, but barely 2 lanes, if you know what I mean. Really little. If 2 cars met, one would have to pull over. and all curvy, going way out around these little bits of hills. It must have been a nightmare of a journey. It really is amazing, actually, when you think about it in terms of building a country, how important communications is, the ability to get from one spot to another with relative ease. I remember at home in Ireland, when going from Galway to Dublin was a sort of a 6-hour trek. You got stuck, you got lost in traffic, just stuck in every town, every village, and backed up for miles. And then they started building the improving the roads, straightening the roads, putting the hard shoulders in, bypassing the towns, eventually the motorways. And what a transformation it made to the country. So you can see the importance of infrastructure and developing the road network. It makes a lot of sense. Another observation was that beehives, I mentioned them before, that I'd commented on one area up in the mountains where there appears to be no economic activity. And I said, in fact, they were harvesting the nectar. Well, the same is true right through here. Incredible number of beehives, and they're managed. They're not just sitting out there on their own the way they would be at home. There's somebody supervising them. So you'll see the beehives up in the mountains. Let's say there might be groups of 50 hives at a time, and you'll see them all spotted around the place. And there'll be a guy in a tent, and you can see the tent there somewhere in the middle, and he'd be sort of supervising, make sure so that nobody pinches the honey, or maybe just to manage them or take care of them, I don't know. Another observation, I commented earlier on all these bikers, all these guys on their small bikes doing their thing, heading home. Two comments on that. The first is, I didn't see a single girl. All the boys coming home. I don't know how the girls get home, but clearly it's not on bikes, and clearly it's not on their own. It's sort of interesting. I'm not passing any comment on it, just an observation. I didn't see a single girl on one of those bikes, just boys. And my other observation on that is, it's sort of lovely. It reminds me of the years when I lived overseas, and I used to try and get home for Christmas every year, and what a big deal it was. And and I I'm an awful romantic, as you all know, and I started to see these guys, sort of brings a tear to my eye. All these guys started heading home for the festival, Festival de Mouton. And then on this Festival de Mouton, it also struck me, of course, it only just struck me now, like in the last hour, and I was watching them. All these markets I was going through over the last week, I watched these people heading home with one goat or one sheep over their shoulders in the backseat of the car, or whatever it was. Of course, what they were doing is they were buying the goat or the sheep for this festival. And I was talking to, where I stayed last night, the night before, the owner, a Berber, a lovely guy. I was talking to him about this, and he was saying that inflation is rampant here, and that a sheep or goat now is maybe twice or three times the price it was as recently as a year ago. He couldn't explain to me why, but I mean, apparently it's a real problem. To the extent, he said, that this festival, many people won't be able to afford to buy the sheep or the goat. And he said that's a real problem for them. You have to have this festival. So, it's sort of interesting to try and understand what's going on and see the challenges that these people are faced with. And yet, they still have their festivals or holidays, just like we have. And they're doing their thing. I just think it's sort of lovely. It's the same everywhere in the world, isn't it? No matter where you go, it's always the same. We're all doing the same things. Yeah, it's sort of lovely. Now I'm going to give you a shot to show you the beautiful mountains where I'm actually standing having this chat with you. So look at this, guys. This is what I'm riding through. It just gets better and better. By the way, while I'm showing you that, let me show you something else. I haven't commented on all the stalls that there are, but all along these touristic runs, there are guys who are flogging all sorts of stuff. And here there's all these, I don't know what they are. I've seen them in France, in the mountains, in the Alps. This sort of quartz or something. So you see this stuff all over the place. And they're also selling all this clay produce that they do their dishes in, which is sort of lovely. So that's it. Back on the road. Me and my trusty steed still going well. Oh, I should show you, just before I go, I should show you the repair. Because yesterday I showed you the guy who did my repair for Euros. There it is. He welded a nut and a bolt together, created that piece, and there we go. I've got my thing that I can open and close to allow me to move my windscreen up and down. €1 and done in 10 minutes. What a man. Pain au chocolat and croissant, all gone. Okay guys, sitting here in Marrakesh. Just had the pain au chocolat, the croissant, and I'm having my verveine for a change. And so I'm sort of on the edge of Marrakesh, to be honest, not really in the city centre. I'm trying to avoid it and go around it. I'm going to head over to Essaouira in a while, but I've finished my cup of tea. The ride down was spectacular, and even the ride to Marrakesh was fine. Nice looking city actually. Looks nice and clean and tidy and looks like a modern city. So as I said, I'm not going to spend any time here. I'm going to go to the sea. But yeah, it doesn't look like a bad place at all actually. Probably the best looking city I've seen so far in Morocco, even though a lot of people say to me it's not a great city by Moroccan standards, but it looks certainly very European to me. But all is good guys, it's Father's Day today. I wasn't aware of it until I got lovely texts from my kids wishing me happy Father's Day. So thank you very much guys, and greetings from Marrakesh, and yeah, so nice to hear from them. I hope that some of them are watching the videos and sharing the journey with me. Guys, here I am in, I think it's Essaouira, and not a bad town. I went around just the nice Old Medina, nice old town. I had a look around on the bike, to spin. You can see the beautiful beach. This is a real surfer's paradise, and do all this kite surfing. And believe it or not, I've checked into a hostel. It's very hard to find anything where I could park the bike. All the riads and the hotels and things are in inside the old town, and of course this means you're parking your bike down the hostel or down at the harbour, and you really don't want to be doing that and leaving it there. Whereas here I'm parked right outside the front door. So, but I've got a private room and with my own bathroom or whatever, so it's fine. Albeit there's a single bed. It's got a single bed and 2 bunk beds in it. So Helly and Carl and Patrick and the rest of you will, all my kids, you will know about. So we camp on today, and yeah, really wonderful day. That ride up through the pass up to Marrakesh was, as you can see from the other videos, was just spectacular, really spectacular. And then I popped into Marrakesh, to the edge. I didn't go to the city centre. Not a bad looking town actually. Probably the best town I've seen so far. and had my little breakfast, as you saw, my pain au chocolat, my croissant, which actually tastes like a pain au chocolat and a croissant. And I had a nice verveine for a change, which was delicious. So I took the motorway and the dual carriageway from there to here. There's not a lot to see, so I just wanted to get here quickly. The one or two observations. Obviously they had a boom here at some stage, a real estate boom with a not too distant past. And like Ireland, they have a lot of, what do we call them at home? These ghost estates. Well, they have a lot of ghost estates here. They have big, they built up a lot of apartments and just empty, half built, 3/4 built, 100% built, but all empty. Every town I went to had them. So obviously at some stage they had their own little bus here. I'm not sure what the situation is right now with real estate here, but there's outside the towns, and it's typical, it's just like Ireland. It's all outside the town. It's not in the town centre, it's just outside the town centre somewhere, you know, a few miles out the road. But it's going to be the new wonderful place to live. Yeah, so anyway, that was kind of interesting to see. Really nothing else remarkable. I think I'll stay here 2 nights. I'm just going to chill here for a couple of nights. Maybe I might go and have a swim, I don't know, I might just go and walk on the beach and just park up the bike for a couple of days and have a rest. Yeah, so all is good, and the temperature is perfect, about 23, 24 degrees. Lovely sea breeze, and beautiful, and much better than 34 or 39 of the experience over the last couple of days. Last night was very, very hot, and even with the AC, I don't sleep well with the AC, put the AC on, I think it was a mistake. I was better off just opening the windows and sleeping with nothing on, no sheet or anything. But anyway, I did what I did and sleep particularly well. But I'm hoping I'm going to sleep well tonight, knowing I'm not getting up in the morning. Tomorrow is, as you know, the Fête des Moutons, and there's some bash on here tomorrow. That'll be sort of nice. Full of young people here, which is sort of nice. Maybe I get chatting to a few people and just a change of scene, talking to hotel managers. So yeah, so that's my update. I'll put this together later on and shoot up onto the YouTube. And thanks for all the greetings, guys, for Father's Day. Really appreciate it. Okay, cheers.